You are listening to a special edition of the Blackford Bruins report on the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and this is our recap of the Blackford Bruins 55-45 victory at Wes-Del on Tuesday night after a week off since their loss at Jay County. Coming up, I'll have a quick recap of the victory. Then I will talk to Blackford head coach Aaron Daniels. And if you haven't heard it yet, please go check out Tuesday's Blackford Bruins report, the first official Blackford Bruins report. It's going to be out every Tuesday talking about Blackford Bruins boys basketball. We'll also have a recap after every game and reaction from Coach Daniels. One more thing before we get to it. I have a daily podcast called Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. It's a lot of fun. We talk about the Pacers, the Fever, the Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, Butler, Notre Dame, and of course, the Blackford Bruins and high school basketball. It's 10 to 20 minutes every single day, and it's a lot of fun. I hope you'll join me. It was a much-needed win for Blackford coming into the game with 4 losses in 5 games. After a program record-breaking 13-0 start that has Blackford now at 15-4 on the season. The 15th win of the year tops last year's 14-win season and is the most for Blackford since the 25-5 regional championship team under Coach Newell in 2021. It wasn't the prettiest first half ever, but Blackford did hold a 15-8 lead at the end of the first and a 25-17 lead at the end of the second. The issue was the third quarter and early in the fourth. The Bruins outscored Wes-Del 22-10 in the fourth quarter, including 18-8 in the final 5 minutes of the contest. Senior Jacob Dillon led Blackford with 18 points and 9 rebounds. The 18 points easily a season high for Jacob. He had 13 points in a win over Clinton Prairie on January 2nd at Frankton. It's the 12th time this year that he has had at least 8 rebounds in a game. Sophomore star Mari Leggett finished with 16 points and 5 assists. Senior co-star Mason Kitterman, 14 points and 6 rebounds. Senior guard Reggie Duran finished with 8 points and 3 assists. And junior forward Eli Morgan contributed 2 points and 4 rebounds. It's the 8th time this year Blackford has held an opponent to 43 points or fewer. And now things start to get really interesting for Blackford. Starting on Friday, of course, it is a showdown with Class 2A, number 3, Oak Hill. The Golden Eagles, like Blackford, got off to an incredibly hot start, 15-0, before taking their first loss of the season at home on Friday, 58-53 to Class 4A Homestead. That's a really good Homestead program. So a really good Oak Hill team that's going to be looking for revenge after Blackford kept the Golden Eagles from winning the CIC outright. Blackford tying for the CIC title after beating Oak Hill 66-40 last year. So the Bruins definitely have to feel like they can compete in this one, even against a team with a resume like Oak Hill's. Then the first home game in over 3 weeks, and it doesn't get any easier. 13-3 Northwestern comes to town. The Tigers winners of 6 straight as of Tuesday night. Oh, and then they go to Fort Wayne to face a 12-6 Snyder team, a 4A program, and a very good team this year that's near the top of the Summit Conference standings. On Tuesday's Blackford Bruins report, Coach Daniels and I talked about how tough this final stretch of the season is and how it can benefit his team in the long run. But for now, here are his comments on Blackford's 58-43 win over Wes-Del. Please stay tuned for Aaron Daniels.
Yeah, we didn't play our best basketball, and I blame us coaches for that. I truly think that we were really looking forward to Friday and looking at Oak Hill, and we've had that marked on the schedule. And it's, there's a night where we came out tired and different things, which really shouldn't happen on a week's prep. And so I blame us coaches. We got to do a better job of getting us ready. But with that being said, when you don't you got to come out and you got to find a gritty way to win. And we haven't always done that, down the stretch here. So I was proud of our kids and the way they battled, and they were able to, come through with that and pull it out at the end.
And as we mentioned on the Blackford Bruins report this week, Wes-Del is better than their resume might appear.
Absolutely. And we knew that they were going to be tough. And then we missed the scouting report a little bit. We had a kid hit 4 threes in the first half on us, which, that's entirely on us. And we knew that they were able to do some things with their athleticism and things. And they gave us some problems. They were really, really physical with Mari. At times they let the game be really physical both ways. And we just didn't handle that very well. And we had stretched it out to, I think, 12 in the first quarter, second quarter early. And then they just kind of hung around and hit some big shots. And yeah, they were a better basketball team than their record shows. I mean, that is not indicative of the kind of team that they have.
Big night for Jacob Dillon.
Yeah, and we need some more scoring from our role players in those kinds of situations. And with Jacob Dillon, it's one of those things where it's all confidence. When he thinks he's one of the better players on the floor, he is really, really hard to stop. He's a dominant on the boards. He's side. When you're playing with Mari, you're going to get a lot of easy buckets. And then, there's other nights where he kind of shies away. We need him to know and play with the confidence that he's a really good player, because he is a really good player. And when he is going and he can give us some production inside, he gave us 18 tonight. When we can get something like that, we can have 3 people in double figures like we did tonight. That makes us really hard to guard. Then you don't just become the two-headed monster of Mari and Mason Kitterman.
And 15th win of the season. Very least you've improved over last year.
We have, and that we had some goals going into the season. We wanted to compete for the CIC title. We wanted to compete for a sectional. We wanted to improve our record, and we've had a tough stretch here. We've lost 4 out of 6, but all of our goals are still ahead of us. We improved our record. We've still got some games on the schedule. We've got a huge one Friday with Oak Hill. We still have a sectional opponent in Muncie Burris. We've still got room to improve upon those things. And so I'm proud of where we are at this point in the season, but we still have a lot of work to be done and still have some good basketball ahead of us.
And you're certainly going to have to be better on Friday.
Absolutely. I mean, Oak Hill is I think they're the best team we've played. They're extremely disciplined. They play extremely hard. You just can't make mistakes with them. They are truly sharks in the water. I mean, they smell blood, and they do not give up. I mean, they are relentless. The Tonagel kids are unbelievable, and for the poise that both Jason and Will both show, and Will being a freshman, just unbelievable the way they play. And they defend for 32 straight minutes. They play 9 kids. They don't lose much when kids come in off the bench. They have a really, really good basketball team, and there's not going to be a light that's too bright for them. They've played in big moments. They've played in big games. And so if you want to go on the road in the CIC, compete for the title against, I think, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in 2A, we've got to go do it Friday night. You have to take care of the basketball, and you have to do all of the little things right to compete in games like that.
And a shot at the CIC championship, and that's a big deal.
It is. It's a huge deal. And for us, the CIC, the history is so rich. I mean, there's been stretches there where Frankton and Oak Hill competed for state titles. It's always a deep league. It's another deep league this year. To be in the position we are, this is where we wanted to be, even though we do have the loss to Frankton, but we wanted to compete. We have this date marked on our calendar again that, we wanted to have a chance to win the CIC on this day. And so it is a huge deal for us. They have the horseshoe. It's a game that if you think you're going to be at the top of the 2A and you want to compete for that regional and semi-state title, you have to be able to compete with a team like Oak Hill.
Blackford head coach Aaron Daniels, thank you so much for your time, and we will talk on Friday.
Thank you very much, and thank you as always for the coverage. We appreciate all you do.
Thanks again so much to Coach Daniels and the Blackford Bruins for welcoming the Central Indiana Sports Report. we are hoping to do some really good stuff together. And thank you so much for listening. We will be back on Friday night with a recap and Coach Daniel's reaction to the game against Oak Hill. Also, we had a recap of the Frankton, and we do the Blackford Bruins report on Tuesday, the Elwood Panthers report on Wednesday, and the Frankton Eagles report on Thursday, looking to add more all the time. Also, check out my new podcast, Greg and His Friends Talk Sports. It is quite good, even if I do say so myself. Check it out. You'll agree. I mean, maybe not, but I think you will. Probably. I think I'm good at it. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.